Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be my 5,000 round review of my H&K VP9. And before we get this video started, as always, I wanted to give a huge shout out to this video's sponsor. This video's sponsor is Crate Tactical. They make a bunch of different items, and what I find kind of the most interesting of their lineup is their out the front knives. Here in Pennsylvania, we can now legally carry out the front knives, which is awesome. So I've been looking for more affordable options that are out there that are not going to break the bank and allow it to still be a good EDC knife. And I think Crate Tactical really delivers in that department. Their out the front knives typically retail around 115 to 140 bucks, and the quality so far for me has been excellent. They also make a variety of steel targets at a crazy low price point, and they're giving you guys a discount code for checking out this video. That is just Freedom10 at checkout, Freedom10 at checkout. That's going to save you 10% off of your order. This is like borderline an emotional review, man. This gun has been my heart and soul now for so many years. I'm so proud of it. I really enjoy it. If you guys don't want to sit through this video and hear some dude talking about how much he loves his VP9, probably pass it by, because I know all my hardcore HK folks out there just hate all over the VP9 because it's like the poor version of HKs across the world. But you know what? I've always really enjoyed the VP9, and it has been my EDC pistol now for 7 years. I have been EDCing this gun. So that to me is awesome. And over the course of that 7 years, I have put roughly 5,000 rounds. I'm going to say conservatively 5,000 rounds. I think the number is probably far greater than that, but I don't want to overshoot anything and kind of hype the gun up more than it should be. So I'm going to, again, conservatively say 5,000 rounds. I know a lot of folks are going to be like, oh, you should have put way more than 7 years. You should have put 20,000 rounds. A lot of people don't understand that when you are a YouTube reviewer of firearms, ammunition gets very expensive. And over time, you are constantly reviewing random, weird, odd, and bizarre firearms. And a lot of that ammunition that you would have available to train with your EDC pistol or something else goes into those reviews. So not as much ammunition as you think gets put through, at least for me, my EDC guns. But I think that is also an awesome point to the VP9's greatness. I have had this pistol, the original slide that is on it here, from 2016. That's when I bought this gun. And I want to say right around that time, like 2015-ish, these started to get imported. And I remember when I picked this up in 2016, it was still like the new hotness on the market and really hadn't gained a ton of traction yet. It was kind of H&K's newly imported pistol at the time. That is how long I have had this gun. And I've gone through a slide change. As you can see here, HK started to drop the tactical slides a while back. I think I've had this slide for 2 years now, and this is essentially the exact same as the normal slide, except it was cut for an optic and had suppressor height sights already on it from XS big dot sights. Shooting so many different handguns all of the time, different grip profiles, different height over bore, no matter what. Even if I take 2 months of not firing a single round through my VP9, I can bring this gun to the range, I can draw it from the holster, and I can print a very, very good group without even really trying all that much. And that's not to say that I am some sort of an expert shooter, because I am absolutely not an expert shooter. I think it speaks worlds to just how comfortable the VP9 is in the hand and how nice it is at the range. So over the course of 5,000 rounds, I've grown to absolutely love how the VP9 shoots. And I think one of the most important things that I love about this pistol is the out-of-box trigger. And the trigger in this pistol is not the lightest thing in the world. A PPQ blows it out of the water for a weight of the trigger, but I love how tactile this trigger is and still very light. You have a very crisp wall, slight take up, but not much, and then your brake. Not any over travel back there. You come out to your reset, right on the wall again, a little bit of take up, brake, and it is such a repeatable trigger. Over the thousands of rounds that I've put through this, the trigger has really broke in, and I love the curved portion and how it fits my finger. I have just really grown to love that, and I think that greatly contributes to just the shootability at the range, even after not shooting it for a little bit. Now, I've consistently made this my pistol test bed for all of my handgun suppressor reviews, so I've got a lot more rounds recently through this pistol just because of that reason, and this gun consistently runs well suppressed. Over the 5,000 rounds, I have had zero reliability issues of any type. Now, I do think, typical to a lot of other complaints about the VP9, their spring here is just a little weak. And this is the 40 cal spring that I have that now all the VP9s come with. The original factory spring was very light and it was causing some reliability issues in adverse conditions. Now, way back on the channel, I tested that through sand all in the gun and all this crazy stuff. And the gun actually still ran through that without major issues. But the 40 cal spring has really helped out in that department. This is not something you need to buy extra nowadays. Again, the gun just comes with it now. But that's just something to remember about the VP9. Is it quite as battle ready as something like the P30 or the USP? Maybe not. And that's just talking about extreme, dirty, gross conditions. Again, I think that light spring may start to cause issues and cause the slide to start sluggishly moving along. But on the opposite end of that coin, I have consistently ran this a few range days in a row just without having time to clean the gun, and it has been super gunked up from suppressed shooting, and it still ran without issue. No concern with reliability whatsoever. So take that for what you will. I've been running now for 2 years this Silencer Co. VP9 threaded barrel. That has been excellent. I have no complaints. It just dropped in, worked out just fine. I have my trusty RMR Type 2 at the top. I believe this is the 3.25 dot in there, and I've had no issues with that. It's been a tried and true optic for me. And I have a CHPWS optic plate on there, getting the RMR a little lower, a little bit easier to co-witness with the XS sights, and I've been running the X300 Ultra. All of this has been sitting in a QVO Wingman now for about 2 years, and prior to that with this slide I was running a T-Rex arm sidecar, and it has been excellent. Now, one complaint so far over the years with these XS sights, they really need to work on the coating on these sights. I have had a major issue on multiple sights with these that just rust over time. I mean, you're going to sweat on this gun, especially carrying an appendix in the summertime, and the slide has never given me any major rusting issues at all. In fact, the finish has been excellent on the slide, but the sights have rusted on every single XS product that I have. So that's something that I think XS just seriously needs to work on. Again, you heard me mention the finish on the slide has been great. You'll have a little bit of wear over the years, but that's completely normal and just shows signs that, hey, you're actually using this gun. That's about 2 years of use, and this slide is about 5 years of use. And you can see that even with drawing on this, kind of interesting, might be due to the holster, but there's different wear points at the top of this slide, and also there's not as much on the side of this slide, even though it's 5 years of use over here. So I'm not sure if they changed up the finish. I believe this is a 2021 slide, and this is the original 2016 slide, so take that for what you will as well. The finish over there seems to hold up a little bit more reliably. And I also included, and I talked about this in my upgrades video, the HK Parts flared Magwell. This is a really nice flared Magwell because it sucks my hand up a little higher, but it also is not too obtrusive that when you're carrying, it's just obnoxiously in the way, causing you to print a lot. I have had no issues with this Magwell. It's been great. It does help out with reloads, because what I've noticed over the years with the VP9 is, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to tell, but it's pinched in the Magwell, and you really catch mags frequently. So having just a little bit of help here goes a long way. Now, as far as negatives I've learned about the VP9 over the years, this is a gun that you need to work at getting good with. And I know a lot of people are going to be up in arms about that immediate comment. What I mean by that is, if you are a brand new shooter, if you've never shot a gun before, I will have to note that this gun has a little bit of an interesting recoil impulse, and that is because you have a relatively high bore axis. It is one of the most comfortable handguns that are out there to hold in your hand. Whenever I hand this gun to somebody over the gun counter at work and they grab it, their immediate impression is, oh wow, that's so comfortable in my hand. Wow, that's a great gun. It feels great, but when you actually go to shoot it, the recoil impulse for a lot of folks is just kind of wonky at first, and it takes some time to get used to. I've learned over the years that once you get used to it, this gun will probably shoot better for you than most striker fire pistols in your collection, and I've had experiences with pretty much ones from every single brand. There are guns that shoot just as good as this, but again, I just have to make the comment that I consistently bring this gun out, and it consistently outshoots other guns that I have in the collection that are around this type of pistol, striker-fired, full-size polymer frame gun. But again, I think it's one that you have to train with. I know especially this is the case with slightly newer shooters who have only shot low bore axis guns like Glocks, CZs, other things like that. They'll pick up the VP9 and their immediate response is just kind of a weird sort of feeling. That's the only negative I've really pulled out with the VP9, but this is something that you can get used to over time with training. Typically with VP9's internal frame parts will start needing to be replaced-ish around 10 to 15,000 rounds. So we are still halfway to that point. I think this gun has a lot of life left in it, and it's still going to continue to be my EDC pistol 7 years moving forward, hopefully, depending on how many rounds I put through this, but we will see. Maybe parts will start needing to get replaced soon, and of course, I will do an updated video on this pistol when that time comes. As I said, this is somewhat of a heartfelt review for me, because this is one of the first pistols I ever reviewed on the channel that I was super excited about. And again, it has been traveling along with me through 7 years of firearm freedom, and it has been my trusty sidekick the entire time that has been going on. Guys, that is going to wrap up this 5,000 round review of my H&K VP9. If you guys have any other questions about this particular pistol or anything else on the channel, please put them down below in the comment section, and I absolutely will get back to you. While you're down there, head up to the description for the ways to check out and support my channel. And as always, stay tuned for more great videos coming soon.